Hi, listen folks, it's your boy, Wad Solo, back with another guide. I'm about to show you the long sword and why it's the most dominant weapon you can use with the fighter in Dark and Darker. That's right, it's an absolute beast with the perfect blend of raw power, precision, and overall defense. Nice. Now let's go over skills and perks for solos first. Now, for every build, I always include defense mastery and swift. Those two perks are no-brainers for me. They offer too much value, so regardless of the build that I'm doing, I am always taking them. The two other slots are a little bit more preference based, and we'll talk about that. So sword mastery. It's okay. I think sword mastery is a bit overhyped. 2 weapon damage, 5% action speed, and 10 additional movement speed when taking a defensive stance with your sword. It does something, and it's really cool because you can do combos like sword mastery and counter attack. And after a block, these two buffs stack, making you really fast. So you can always like sprint to the enemy while attacking. Now, my particular thought on sword mastery is that it's not really worth it. And here's why. So you gain 2 weapon damage and 5 action speed with 10 additional movement speed. You could take shield mastery, and while you're in a defensive stance, you gain 10% bonus flat. And additionally, if you actually manage to land a block, well, you do a lot of crazy things. Since it's solo, weapon mastery most of the times is a must. But if I'm not using weapon mastery because I'm going for something fun, then you can have combo attack if you're not very confident in your blocks, and it still adds a great deal amount of damage to your attacks. Or if you're really confident in your blocks, you can take counter attack and have a very fast build in general. As far as the skills go, now second win always, no matter what. In solos, you probably always are going to take sprint because you need to be faster and you're wearing plate. If you don't, you can take victory strike. It deals a ton of damage. You could also run taunt since you're giving away the shield. You be a bit tankier, so it kind of makes up for losing the shield. But 80% of the times, I'm usually running this. Now, for duos, trios, team play in general, I'm probably not gonna take sword mastery again. I'm sorry, it just doesn't give me enough value. Like, I think about taking sword mastery, and then I'm like, if I want damage, why not take combo attack? If I want like movement speed, why not take shield mastery? Action speed, why not take counter attack? Like, it doesn't offer enough. For that, I always use shield mastery, so I can be a bit faster when I'm defensive, and as well as counter attack, because this allows me to reposition. I don't always have to use it offensively. If I'm separated from my team or I'm in too deep and I get a block, I get a 10% movement speed bonus where I can turn around and run away. That within itself, it's like worth it as a fighter. I don't normally go for weapon mastery in duos, trios, team play in general, and here's why. If I am playing duos, trios with fighters and barbs, our goal is usually going to be to get into melee. Because of that, I can't be sitting in the back shooting, because we're usually trying to catch up with an opponent. So instead of taking something like weapon mastery, I normally take something that helps me in the fight. And usually counterattack is what I go for. Now, if I'm not playing with a barbarian and a fighter, I still don't take it. And here's why. Because if I'm not playing with either of those, there's classes that do range DPS better than we do. However, we still maintain a crossbow and we can support them with that. So if the fight was to go into a ranged type of fight, it's not like you're going to be sitting there not being able to do anything. You still have your crossbow and you can put out some firepower because the crossbow deals a ton of damage. So for that, I don't normally take this. As far as the skills go, if I'm doing threes, I normally do this to be tankier because trying to tank on 3 with no shield, it's pretty brutal. So I normally go for taunt. If I have other beefy teammates, I'll probably go for something like Victory Strike in order to deal more damage. If we're playing a full melee team comp, I am definitely going sprint. Alright, let's quickly go over the gear that you need in order to make this class work. Boots, heavy boots. I want the extra strength for extra damage. Because the longsword deals quite a significant amount of damage, increasing the amount of damage it deals, it's always beneficial. Now, plate pants, light gloves. If I'm doing solos, I'll probably go with the Grand Brigandine for the extra movement speed, for the extra dexterity, for the extra agility. If I'm doing team play, I'll probably using the dark plate armor because you need that magic resistance. Now, as far as helmet goes, Crusader helmet is usually my preferred choice. Extra agility, extra dexterity, it's great. Can't go wrong with it. You can always use the armlet. The armlet gives you strength, so if you want to hit harder, you'll probably be using this. If you never find a mage, then finding cuirass is okay. But make sure that you understand that this gives you negative magic resistance. It makes you more susceptible to one of your counters. Now, as far as what stats do we want in our gear, for me, it usually goes like this. I will want to stack PDR all the way to 50% plus, depending on how defensive versus offensive you want to play. Then from there, I would add up agility until you're somewhat mobile, so you're not staying behind. Remember, you're wearing full plate. Then, after that, I would be looking into adding strength, as much as strength as possible, in order to increase my damage. Now, let's look at a few fights so you understand well the playstyle of this class. As you can see, I open up with my crossbow and I managed to land a shot. Because of this, I am much more confident in my damage, so I fully go in and commit to the fight. It's also important to note that I have combo attack in this build, so committing to the fight, it's usually beneficial to me due to increased damage out of combo attack. Now in this fight, I'm fighting another fighter. In order to initiate the fight, I start with sprint and I jump attack in order to make sure that I can go over his guard. After that, I'm trying to make sure I space him out in my attack, and when I see that he's backing up, I commit to the fight. Now, let's take a look at the hitbox of your second attack. As you can see, it's an attack that comes overhead directly to the side. Because of it, we can use it to go over the enemy's guard in order to get a headshot. Also make sure that your crossbow is always reloaded in order to deal with any rats. It's Walt Solo, and thanks for watching. Until next one, peace!